Good morning, future players of Rec League. No matter where you are in the universe, it is customary to preface all riveting news with a solid GM. For the culture, of course. So, good morning, it's announcement day. What does that mean? Well, if you haven't seen it yet, we've released a sick animated announcement trailer. It's amazing. You need to check it out. It's on YouTube right now. You can look at it after this live stream. We've released a hot gameplay sizzle. It's also on YouTube. We've released a huge day one blog fresh off the press. You can read that on our Medium, or you can go to our Twitter so that you can read it there. Our KYC is opened up for allow-less positions, and we are here serving first looks at gameplay live on YouTube during announcement day. It's truly a historical day for NWay. I'm Schnazzy, your host, and I'm an artist in the industry. But more importantly, I am the Rec League go-to for all things community facing. And that's how I landed this really amazing opportunity to show you our first look at live person versus person gameplay. However, I'm really not the star of the show. That title belongs to the lead designer of Rec League. He's dubbed the Spreadsheet Wrangler. With great pleasure, I introduce to you, Joe.
Hey guys, I also go by Millie in Discord.
Joe, it's a pleasure to have you here. Could you please share your experiences with the audience that led you into this position of launching a game like Rec League?
Yeah, sure. So, my first few industry jobs were working as a quest writer and then as a puzzle designer. It's like how I started out. That was between like 2014, 2018. I think I was pretty good at content creation, but my passion has always been systems design, which is like more of a technical role where you're designing the game's rules and balance. And I had the opportunity to branch into that work in 2018 when I joined Jam City to work on Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery as an economy designer. And that's like really the first time that I felt I was doing like really interesting work, living in spreadsheets and balancing the entire economy for a pretty, big, well-known game. And that was great for a while, but I'm not naturally drawn to playing that kind of game in my free time. I'm always playing competitive stuff like Dota, Chivalry, Rocket League, Overwatch, stuff like that. So in 2020, when I saw that NWay was hiring a systems designer to work on their new fighting game, WWE Undefeated, I knew that it was time to make that switch to competitive games. And, I can say that it was the right move for me. I finally felt like I was working on something that was personally meaningful to me. And, I still feel that way 3 years later. As for Rec League in particular, honestly, I was just in the right place at the right time. I think that I interviewed here like literally the day after Animoca announced that they were acquiring the studio. And so, anyway, we may be a small studio, but we're known for punching above our weight. So in my mind, a collaboration like this was just a matter of time.
You have such an impressive history and backstory, Joe, and you're crafting a brilliant legacy. How would you describe Rec League and what it means to you so that everyone watching can comprehend the true weight of what we are trying to create here? We would not be having an innovative future if we weren't having technical difficulties.
Okay, I think I can hear you again. Sorry about that, Drea. We good to go?
Yeah, I think. Were you able to hear my question, Joe?
Yeah, I think I did. It was about, like what we're creating here with Rec League, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say that for me, Rec League it's like about exploring what's possible in Web3 gaming, right? And setting the quality bar for where we think Web3 games should be at. What's awesome about this project is that we've really embraced the creator mentality. This isn't like free to play where there's like an established playbook for how you build a successful game, right? We're being skeptical, making educated guesses, trying new things out, and like really writing the rules as we go. Especially with our UGC system, where you can earn rev share by being a content curator for the Web2 game community. when we release the Web 2 build early next year. And so I'm really excited for that. That's the kind of innovation we're doing where we feel that Rec League will really be a North Star for other projects in the space.
Yeah, I really truly believe it is going to be a North Star for other people in this space to really see how a game can truly be developed with all things blockchain integrated in mind. Would you mind showing us a first look at the gameplay now?
Yeah, sure. Let's switch on over to the game. All right, we good? Cool. Yeah. So first look at Rec League looks awesome. What you're seeing here in this inventory screen is a mech that is made up of 10 parts. To get these parts, you need to join our allow list and get boxes from the mint or the claim process. Mechs are made up of 10 parts. There are 5 body parts and 5 attachments. The body parts are what determine your combat skills. So you can see on my mech here, which is this awesome Gigablade mech, it has this ground stinger move, overhead smash, temper tantrum, triple hawk, photon beam, guard absorption. These are all determined by the body parts that I have equipped. The body parts are the head, torso, legs, the weapon arms, and then also, I don't know if you can see this little guy in the background there, the S-Bot, who's like a little satellite guy who accompanies you. There are also the 5 attachments, and the attachments determine the stats that support the playstyle of the skills that you get from your body parts. And so, having this system where there's these different body parts that you get to mix and match to create the best strategy, we think that is really fun and offers a lot of depth, for you guys to chase after different strategies and try out different fun things and really play the way that you want to play. So if I could just kind of look at these different mechs here, we have these different, they're called constructors. We have Psycrane and Primate and Coda for this first mint. Primate is a balanced playstyle with tools for different combat scenarios. It tends to have more balanced offensive and defensive stats. Psycrane, on the other hand, it's more of a ranged playstyle that tries to control opponents with ranged attacks, and it tends to sacrifice defensive stats for offensive stats like crit power. So some weapons that you're going to see today, the Drill Fist, which is a close quarters weapon with rapid combo attacks. If you look here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but multi-drill, Drill Fist sweep, it's that type of move. And then there's the Saw Lance, which is a staff-like weapon with serrated blades that tries to keep opponents at arm's length. We also have the Gigablade, which I showed earlier, and then the Spike Ball, which is like a Morning Star, and Star Shot, which is like a rifle-type weapon that we'll be showing off to you guys in the future. And so an example of how you might mix and match these guys is maybe I want to take a Drill Fist weapon part that wants to play really aggressive and close and mix that with some Primate body parts that have skills that can close the gap between my opponent and myself, and then take some Psycrane attachments, which have a lot of those offensive damage and critical power stats to really deal a ton of damage in a short time frame and combo my opponent and blow them up. But yeah, anyway, that's enough talking. I'm really excited to show off the game to you guys. I think it's time to hop into a live match with David, who's here in the room with me. So I'm going to back out, and I'm going to start queuing. Actually, make sure I have the correct mech really quick. I'm going to be playing with the Psycrane Saw Lance mech. So I'll back out, and I'm going to queue up. Yeah, and this is a real-time PvP synchronous fight. It's a real fighting game, guys. I'm really fighting him in real time. Oh, little tech issue. Let's see if we can just queue up again. Yeah, let's queue up again and see if we can get a match with each other. Yeah, just a reminder, this is a tech alpha. This is happening live. It's not pre-recorded. You're probably going to see some bugs and placeholder aspects that we're still working on. But, we're too excited to not show off the game to you guys. It looks incredible, and these guys have done an amazing job. So, yeah, I want to cover some basics of combat. First, the movement system. you're able to dash back and forth. If you're on a mobile device, that's the swiping gesture, pretty natural to a phone, or on PC, because this is a cross-platform game, you'll be using your arrow keys. Your mech dashes a fixed distance, and you're able to preemptively cancel to kind of play footsie with your opponent. There's also the card system. These are the skills that you saw on my body parts earlier in the inventory screen. When I use an ability, it's going to cost some amount of energy from that bar in the bottom middle and, execute the attack on my opponent. Energy regenerates over time, and there are some attachment parts on the mechs that control the maximum amount of energy you have and how fast that regenerates over time, which will, kind of determine your play style. There's also a universal blocking action where you have a resource that regenerates and allows me to block against an incoming attack. You see that if I hold it for too long, it actually runs out, which leaves me open to incoming attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and hold my block down now, and then you can go ahead, David, and execute the attack against me. You can see that I'm still taking a little bit of damage, but my mech isn't put into a state where I'm not able to fight back. So I could retaliate with this, spin attack and put him on the defensive. From there, we have combos where I can see if I can get a good combo going. I can use this ability to break his guard and then combo that into the follow jet ability. And so what I'm doing here is spending a lot of energy at once, but in exchange, I get to deal a ton of damage to my opponent without the opportunity for him to retaliate. So there's a lot of depth there with figuring out, like, when should I spend all of my energy and, do a ton of damage versus, like, holding off a bit so I have some defensive moves in reserve to fight back. Last, there's the super meter system. If you look at this meter underneath the health bar, it's like pulsing right now underneath David, aka Mech Enjoyer's side of the screen. You want to go ahead and use your ultimate on me? Yeah, so this is super cinematic. It looks awesome. It's a great finisher move for ending the match in like a really incredible cinematic way. Lots of flair. It does a ton of damage, and it's not very easily counterable. Yeah, so at this point, I think that we can go ahead and end the match. I'm gonna go ahead and use ultimate of my own. And like these are totally different per weapon type. And he's done. He got wrecked. Yeah, so that was like a cool first, preview of what combat looks like in Rec League. I think that we're going to return to the main hub now, and we'll do a second match a bit later after some more questions. Before I kick it back to you, Drea, I just want to point out in the top right here, you'll see this Welcome to Rec League banner with, one of our characters, Mezzy. The Web3 build of the game that you guys will be playing is designed for game events and tournaments. To join an event, you'll need at least one Mech NFT, which can be minted, again, from the 10-part NFTs that I covered earlier. So shortly after the mint, we'll be starting with a leaderboard tournament. That's like kind of our first, big event for you guys. It's going to have on-chain prizes spanning from like incredible one-of-one NFTs to special mech sets, boxes, and individual mech parts. And everyone who places on the leaderboard is going to get something, So throughout the season, we'll run a variety of tournaments. So you'll have plenty of time to practice and, get better and compete for that top placement. Yeah, switching back to you, Drea.
Yeah, the animation at the end, the way you finish him was absolutely stunning. And it really takes a long time to make a game look this good and it still be an alpha. So really, how long have we been developing this game and how has it changed to get to this point?
Yeah, so Rec League's been in development since like late 2021, almost 2 years now. Around like November that year, we were in talks with the Yuga founders about creating a high quality, fully fledged game that was built around a play to earn economy. And there's mutual interest in mecha, think like Gundam or Evangelion, and competitive action games. And we have tons of experience building fighting games, so we felt like pretty good about that collaboration. Last year, 2022 was pretty eventful for Web3 gaming and Web3 in general. We learned a lot, like watching play to earn projects rise and fall during this time. And over the second half of the year, we kind of got disenchanted with the idea that play to earn could be a viable long-term game model. I'd say that we also learned which features you guys, the Web3 community, care about and don't care about. And aesthetically, our art direction also matured to be a little less toy-like and a little more serious. So between then and now, we've explored alternative game models, and we're excited to be pushing the envelope of what's possible with user-generated content. Right, our mech systems designed to fully support content creators who want to exercise their digital property rights and to shape the future of our competitive meta. And there's still the opportunity to earn rewards in Rec League, but I'd say that our main focus is building and supporting that UGC ecosystem. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest difference between 2021 and what you just saw now.
I am so excited about the UGC ecosystem. I know that a lot of the marketing team here is really proud of cultivating an experience for our gamers in the future to be able to create and interact with their mechs in ways that we haven't gotten to talk about yet. But all ado, what are you most proud of contributing to, Joe? And how does it compare to all the other games that you've worked on at Inway?
Yeah, so back in the early days of the project, I pitched the idea that there should be these different mech manufacturers with these different characteristics and play styles. Kind of what you just saw in the inventory screen there. I love the Borderlands series and how the different gear manufacturers have like these wild, crazy, different personalities and effects in combat. And we saw a parallel between that experience and the experience we're designing for, which is that whole mixing and matching different fighting styles system to create something that you can like uniquely call your own. So WWE Undefeated was the last game that I worked on at Enway, and I'm proud to say that the depth of strategy in Rec League is like frankly way beyond what you could do in Undefeated, because our roster in Undefeated was based on real WWE superstars and personalities. There were these like fixed character designs that we couldn't really stray from. When you chose, like for example, the Undertaker, you could customize some of his skills, but a few of his skills that he's known for in real life are fixed, and you can't modify his stats either. So as a result, that meta strategy layer of wanting to upgrade your characters so you could try out different strategies was really shallow, and it didn't take much time at all to figure out like what the best builds were. So the game felt pretty stagnant in that respect. And unless you were a diehard WWE fan, it honestly like wasn't very fun to keep playing after the first few months. So I'd say that WWE Undefeated was, a valuable if expensive lesson for the studio. In comparison, Rec League's mixing and matching system has a lot more depth and a lot more opportunity for the kind of ongoing theory crafting and strategy that we want to see. There's a huge, enormous number of unique combinations of mech parts and attributes for you guys to try out. And I'm personally really excited for the game to launch because I'll be there in Discord with you guys, theory crafting some builds that I personally really want to try out myself.
Now, I'm excited to see it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with theory crafting. I know that all of the different sets and the combinations that you can create really make your gameplay experience unique to you, just like it would be building a deck in a TCG. And applying that to a PvP fighter is what I'm most excited about, too, honestly. I know that you actually were really wanting to play with a different mech. So do you want to go ahead and hop into your second live stream game?
Yeah, let's switch back to the game screen. I'm going to switch my mech in the inventory screen to a legendary primate Gigablade, which I think is it this guy? There we go, this guy. All right, you good to queue, David? All right, let's do it. This is going to be a real match. Not that the last one wasn't real, but this time he's actually going to try to beat me up. So we'll see who's the better player.
Good luck.
Oh, looks like matchmaking failed again. Let's try one more time. All right, here we go. So you can see my new mech, and then he selected the Coda paddle saw mech that we're all really excited to show off as well. So what's really cool is you can kind of see the physicality of the moves where I'm able to kind of like jump over his guard and, you know, hit him in certain situations. And, you know, whoever hits the other person first is going to, you know, take initiative in that encounter. So it really rewards timing and learning the, you know, pacing of all these different moves. Like that's kind of the path to mastery that I've been talking about. So there you just saw a guard break move where he's able to break through my block, because we don't want to have situations where someone is just, you know, kind of turtling in the corner. That's not very exciting to watch. And because Rec League, we want to have like a really engaging, you know, competitive ecosystem where people are like, you know, watching you compete with others on the big stage. You know, we want to like design the combat to be engaging and, you know, fun to watch at the same time. So one thing I haven't showed off yet is this burst ability where I'm able to once per match just kind of like, you know, get him out of my corner. And yeah, it takes like a lot of, you know, skill to like learn when's the correct time to use that. I'm in a pretty tough situation. I already used my burst, so I think I'm finished. Oh, he whiffed his move, so maybe I have an opportunity to get him back in the corner. Can use my buff ability here, Guard Absorption. It might help me out with a defensive buff that can take a bit of punishment. But things are looking pretty grim. Alright, so Guard Break into the ultimate. And I don't think this will do enough damage, but it should equalize the match between us. Ah, dang. Good match, man. Got wrecked.
Oh no.
But anyway, yeah, you get a sense for the different combat pacing and the strategies and the physicality of it all. And yeah, let's switch back to the camera stream.
Yeah, I think that it's really competitive and it's super fun to watch you guys go head to head, even here on the PvP. I think that we're really going to see a whole ecosystem of Web3 streamers come out of this, bigger than we've seen in the past, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So speaking of our players, what are you most excited about receiving feedback from the players on?
Yeah, I mean, we just watched combat, so I'm going to say definitely the combat. You know, we spend a lot of time playtesting and polishing combat, so it's approachable for people who are new to fighting games, while also being deep enough to support kind of that evolving meta that I was talking about earlier, where the more advanced players can sink their time into theory crafting and, you know, mastering the meta and mastering combat. Just like a pretty social experience, you know, talking with other people about what works and what doesn't work. I'd say we've also spent a lot of time getting combat to feel snappy and responsive on both mobile and desktop builds. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a cross-platform experience, and I'm really excited that we're supporting that. You know, Rec League feels great to play whether you're at your desk or if you're, you know, chilling on the couch. I want to give a huge shout out to our engineers and artists and designers and everyone on the dev team who made that happen. You know, I know you're I know you're watching this live stream in the other room, so I just want to say that you know, you guys rock. But anyway, yeah, I think that we've designed a real solid combat foundation that can appeal to everyone. And we're really excited to get your guys' feedback. It's tough working on something in private for so long, almost 2 years, right? We've been building our vision of what we think is fun, and now it's time to get the game in your guys' hands so we can learn what's actually fun and keep building on that.
Because that's ultimately our goal, is to have fun. But really, Joe, let's recap, and you tell us in your words, what do you think the ultimate vision of Rec League is?
Yeah, that was a lot, right? Been talking a lot. So let me just quickly recap for you guys. We want to create a vibrant, competitive ecosystem where you guys, the Web3 UGC creators, can test your latest creations and compete for awesome on-chain rewards. Right? This is the beginning of that reciprocal relationship between the Web3 creators exercising your digital property rights to create content for the Web2 community. And then the Web2 community uses that content to evolve their own competitive meta and provide signals back to the Web3 community what kind of content they want. And then you can see how that cycle loops back around and starts again and self-perpetuates. And our ultimate vision is to create and support that symbiotic relationship between the separate, Web3 and Web2 halves of the project, right? These two different builds.
Thank you so much for coming on here, Joe, and explaining to everybody here on day one what we're trying to do with Rec League. I know this is no easy task, and we are so grateful to have you come here and talk to us. And especially grateful for you losing live on stream. It was a great game, and I know that must have been hard, but we still support you because we're here today together, and we're embarking on a journey that will define us as a community. Rec League's not just a game, it's going to be a legacy title in Web3. You, me, the day zero and day one OGs in this community are going to craft mechs together. We're going to fight each other. We're going to learn how to transform the meta and compete for amazing rewards, both on chain and off chain. And our mission really goes beyond that. We're not just playing a game, we're changing the landscape of what's possible by taking everything that we all know from our collective experiences to ultimately make a game that's truly unique. Because we value the true meaning of ownership and the importance of collaborations with everybody in our community, from major powerhouses like Yuga Labs to the rising stars among us. It's our belief that co-creation is how true legends become meaningful. It takes a village, and we're grateful to have each and every single one of you in our arena. Now go KYC so you can be on our allow it list and follow all of our journey on our socials. Let's build a real functioning relationship together, because the opportunities here in this space of tech right now have the ability to make an impact on all of the future experiences in gaming. So let's hit hard, because this is Rec League. Welcome to day one.